Welcome to All Kinds. I'm Kaya.
And I'm Yehudas. Thanks for joining us today. So we are going to talk about the next social justice warrior crusade. Boobs for butts? Equal opportunity for nudity. No ass, no peace. Also, Love on the Spectrum, that Netflix show. How sweet was that? What's your favorite dating show, and why are we so obsessed with them? Love is Blind, First Dates, Bachelor. Also, do blondes have more fun?
Let's ask Puddin.
Yes.
So let's get started. Girl, you look gorgeous.
Thanks.
I love the new hair. I know it's not what you had in mind.
It's not what I had in mind. Okay, guys. So I went to the hairdresser. Tons of photos of Hilary Duff's blonde because, in my opinion, Hilary Duff's blonde is the blonde that I used to have and that I love. It looks good on me. I go to this new hairdresser. I show her all the photos. I also show her previous photos of me as a blonde with that Hilary Duff type of blonde. Still, I let her do her own thing. She is an artiste, after all.
Well, you did tell her 80% classy.
Well, and I even mentioned, I said, listen, I want 80% classy, 20% slutty. She gave me 100% classy. It's a sandy blonde. It's nice, but it's
very nice.
It's brownish blonde. I wanted poppy blonde. I didn't want bleach blonde. I wanted poppy blonde, like Pinterest hair blonde.
This looks like you could play the flute in orchestra.
You know, I don't want that. Yeah. You know, I am a 29-year-old woman, okay? And if I ask for blonde, and I'm talking blonde, I should get those results.
Especially as you're going to be sitting there for hours. It's money, it's time, it's a whole thing.
And I couldn't say no, you know, I'm too nice. I say, oh, I love it and everything. My husband comes home and, where's the blonde? I said, oh, listen, I'm going to go next month, spend another $500. What can I do?
Such a thing. And I was so excited to see this. I thought for sure you'd be over the moon because I've been getting a lot of grays lately. And I'm like, what do I do? I think I'm going to go to professional. And you're like, go blonde. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's so much upkeep, so much investment. And then I didn't even think about the fact that it could go wrong. Like, I just assumed you would have that blonde.
It's not bad. I like it, but it's not me. I wanted pops of like yellowish blonde, but like looking like nice, like a Swedish person. I didn't want, you know.
You look very genteel. You look like a fall blonde.
Right. I look like, I look like a Karen in training is what I feel.
A little bit. If you got the spiky haircut, well, yeah, not as harsh. Definitely not. But what do you do with gray hair and stuff? I mean, that's the whole thing. We're always busy dyeing your hair. We want it to look good. I'm using the box right now at home and just like spot check.
It works though.
Well, at first I was figuring, okay, what am I going to do? And I figured, okay, they always think men are stupid. So I'm going to do the just for men. There's only 3 colors. Like,
oh, yeah.
For them because they make it so simple. They're like 3 minutes. Just, this is it, 3 steps. So I was using it. It was pretty good. But then I'm thinking I should do the full on one because sometimes I go a little too light and you see it's patchy. Like I have a little patch. So I don't know. I think I'm going to go, if you do find a good hairdresser.
I have a good hairdresser, so I'm going to just go to my old one. And hopefully he doesn't get bent that I went to another person. Because he's really expensive, but he's worth the money. I mean, he's a real hair colorist. I mean, this girl did a great job, but I'm sorry, I gave you photos. I told you 80% classy, 20% slutty. She laughed. She looked like she totally got it. I told her sexy, fresh, Victoria's Secret. How many hints can I give a person?
I think you had to say 90s. Maybe she would have gotten it.
I didn't want I wanted Pinterest hair. I showed her.
No, she's going to go with this. It's super natural. So many different highlights. Very classy. Very demure.
I don't want demure, okay? I'm not a Kate Middleton, okay? I'm a Princess Di.
Pippa? Oh, Lord. Well, I don't know. I hope it works out for you next time. Why don't you post a photo next time so we could see?
Well,
we should take one
blondes
now.
do have fun. I do love being blonde when I am properly blonde. So I'll let you guys know once I'm blonde how much fun I'm having because I'm not having so much fun as a sandy beige blonde.
No, you're not. Well, you're actually a natural blonde. Many people don't know this. When you look at pictures of you when you were a kid, you streak white in the summer. I remember that.
Right. I mean, beautiful blonde hair.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you had more fun growing up as a blonde kid, or I think it only kicks in.
I had the bad teeth, so it kind of ruined it for me. If I had the good teeth,
Good teeth. Well, at least now, like you said last time, you're Becky with the good hair.
Yes, I mean, one thing about it, and I even told her, I said, I have bad skin, but one thing I know about myself, I have gorgeous hair. Gorgeous hair.
Well, very demure, gorgeous hair.
Well, yeah. Okay, girl, thanks for rubbing it in.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely not going to go blonde. I do like being the sexy brunettes, a la Girl Next Door, but with a little bit of spice.
I like the
So we'll
Southern
see how it
blonde,
goes.
Jessica Simpson blonde, okay? Bubblegum, Britney Spears, 2001 blonde. Is that so hard?
The issue I have, though, it just takes so long, and then you have to do the upkeep. Once you're in
You know
your
what? I
community.
like the upkeep. I feel fancy.
But it's hours.
But I love saying I have to go to the salon.
Oh, yeah, the salon.
It's worth it just for that sentence.
Oh, my God. So how long did this one take?
I was there from 12 to 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
then-
brought my chips.
Oh, wow. They didn't give you snacks?
No, because it's Corona, so I'm wearing my mask. I'm sneaking chips into my mask.
Oh, Lord. What
I'm
about
going-
that time you're just sitting there? They can't just give you a glass of wine, a
No,
snack?
nothing because of Corona, girl.
Oh, they should get like, the little tiny
Well,
wine
the
balls.
hairdressers were struggling. I mean, they didn't work for
Yeah.
so long. So
I'd be happy to pay for that if I'm at a hairdresser
Right.
for 6 hours, Oh, is there a meal?
it is what it is, folks. Next month, I'm going to go fully blonde, and I'll let you know how much fun I'm having.
That's right. We'll keep track of that. Thanks, bud.
So, yeah, moving on, we're going to talk about the next social justice warrior crusade, Boobs for Butts.
Now, I've been saying this forever. I have no problem with the nudity, right? But I want to see equal opportunity nudity. I
Right.
think I'm an SJW now.
People get offended when they see the Fox News women, the news anchors. They look gorgeous. Their boobs are up. They're wearing the mini skirts. They have gorgeous, Victoria's Secret bombshell hair. Not a problem for us. I actually don't mind that.
No.
But what I do mind is I think what would be equal is to having men just as hot.
That's right. This is all we're asking for. Equal opportunity nudity. I hate when I'm watching a movie or something and I just see a million tits. I'm like, okay, that's fine. She has nice tits, whatever. I'm like, why am I not even seeing his ass? They're
Right.
making sweet love.
Like Fox News, like if you're gonna have the hot women, you should have the hot Republican men, like Dan Crenshaw, the one with the badge.
Oh, the one with the eye patch?
I love that. I mean, it's sexy. I mean, that's Republican 101. He lost it during fighting in a war. Like,
Yeah, we are tired of looking at the pasty, middle-aged,
Right, I mean-
pregnant. This is not
what's
it.
his name?
The women clearly work out, put all this effort, and the men look like poo. I want some eye candy.
Right. I mean, everyone here should know by now that I'm obsessed with the news anchor from NBC or ABC News, David Muir.
Everybody knows.
I mean, he can be anywhere. He can be talking to the ISIS girls. And I'm thinking, wow, he is so hot. They should have the equivalent. He is the equivalent of a Fox News host. I mean, once he had to take off his shirt because he was swimming or something. And it's like, yes, please. That's the equality that I'm talking about.
Right. And, you'll get maybe one or two like a David Muir, but it's not the rule. Whereas with the women, they're always looking fab. I don't even care how old they are, but they're always looking fab. There's always
Right.
lots of attention to detail, and they clearly all try to stay in shape or whatever.
I completely agree. I think also with Inside Edition, which I watch all the time on YouTube, women are looking gorgeous. And, the guys need to step it up a bit. They're not ugly, though, but they need to step it up. I want to see a spray tan. I want to see a little bit of muscles.
Right, and you could take off that jacket.
Right.
These
Take off the
women are-
jacket.
Yes, they've got their shoulders out. We know it's cold. Let's, get a little comfortable there.
Right.
Open a
Mika
button.
and Joe, I mean, Mika looks really hot, but then Joe Scarborough, I mean, you look good, but you got to take off the jacket.
Is he in a full suit?
He's in a full
Okay.
suit.
Yeah, you see, that's not fair.
Right. When, Mika's in this tight wrap from, Diana von Furstenberg, I'm sure. And, she's already stepped it up. She has a gorgeous blonde bob, the type of blonde that I wanted. That's, if you guys know Mika from the morning show with Joe, that's the type of blonde I want. But anyway, she's gorgeous. She's put together. Joe, he's cute. He needs to be hot.
Yeah, we want a little hotness. And it's,
no more cutie
Yes.
patooties.
and it's the same across all shows, really. I have no problem with it until I start noticing it more. Like, I'm like, oh, she's naked again. She's naked again.
What
I think I
other
saw
show?
his nipple. Like any show, like you'll watch a show and they'll be making love. It could be a movie. It could be a show. And I'm not asking for penis, but at least let me see
And
that ass.
I also think it needs to be the same, like how women have like a expiry date as a news anchor, like Debbie Chung, you don't see her working. I also think like with Anderson Cooper, like, sorry, your time's up now. And maybe I'm a little bitter because he didn't stand up for Kathy.
Yeah, I'll never
but-
get past that.
Move along, it's more Don Lemon for me.
Thank you. I can't get past that at all. His not standing up for Kathy, even now. And he has the nerve to still go on and on and on. He has his politics front and center, but then he can't stand up for Kathy, who's a comedian. They
It's
threw
unbelievable.
her
And
out
she
so
really,
quickly, like
she really
garbage.
loved Anderson too. She
think she
loved
loved-
it. Was genuine.
As a personal friend,
Kathy Griffin, we love you.
we do love you. Everybody go see Kath. When she comes to town.
I'll never
She's great.
forget your Celine Dion skit. If you guys have a moment,
Oh.
go on YouTube. Kathy Griffin, Celine Dion. The best 7-minute laugh you'll have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think this will be the next big cause because everyone's looking at things now from a different perspective. And I think it's important. You know, we always see shows like Sister Wives. Well, where's Brother Husbands?
Right. That's a
Where
good
is
point.
it?
I want to
Where?
see a woman married to a couple of men. If I'm going to see Sister Wives, have it the same thing.
Yeah, cool. Let's see it. Why
Right.
not? I think
Instead
it
of
makes
Christine,
sense.
Janelle, and Mary and Robin, I want to see Chris, Jim,
Right. And then
Rob.
And every time they always lob the same thing. They go, oh, well, you can't watch it because you're such like a prude. And what's the big deal? And I'm like, well, then why can't we have Brother Husbands?
Well, I
Is
do
there
watch
a
it
problem?
because I am a fundy snark at heart. So I do love to watch it.
Well, I've never watched the show. I've just seen previews, you know, TLC.
Oh, it's great with Sister Wives. So Mary's daughter, Mariah, came out as a lesbian. She's super left wing. She's in this tight Mormon family. Great
They're not down for
TV.
that.
Obviously, they're not, but they can't do it on TV now because if you're labeled as any homophobic nowadays, you're off the air.
So let's say they come to terms with it. Are they going to let her have 3 wives?
No, because that's not what the Mormonism is about.
Okay. So there's a lot of little rules.
But I will say this with the Mormonism, similar to Jewish men as well. Not that, don't get me wrong, I'm not shading anyone, but a lot of Mormon men in Utah, very good looking.
Real? I wouldn't know. Really? Do they show a lot of men?
Do you know the Killers?
No.
The band The Killers?
Oh, yeah.
So Brandon, the lead singer,
look like.
he is Mormon. Not too bad. Okay. And I've seen a lot of Utah documentaries on Mormonism. Again, I'm a huge fundy snark. The men, they're either blonde or brunette. They're super tall. That's almost like Nordic.
Oh,
yeah. And it's all those years of ancestral breeding together, I think.
Oh, you're saying they're inbreeding?
No. Like a lot of them, like it's like their first cousins, even on Sister Wives,
Oh, really?
Cody is married to, it was Mary's brother's ex-wife. They're very all into it.
Right. I don't know how many wives they're allowed to take.
It looks good on them, though. I have to say, I have yet to see a really ugly Mormon.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't really know when people are Mormon or not. So I guess unless they tell you.
They tell you, yes. I've actually
yeah.
looked this up. There is one Mormon church in Langley.
Oh, have you gone out to...
I was curious. I am a fundamentalist snark. That means that, I'm on Reddit. I go on the Duggar snark. I'm obsessed with anything that's out of the norm.
Geez, I guess, well, I don't know how big the Mormon population is. I didn't know they were known as these religious hotties, They
are religious hotties. That's the only equality in them because the women are looking good, but the men are also looking good.
Oh, that's great. That's all we want.
I think it's the no caffeine.
Oh, they're not allowed caffeine?
No, they can't drink Coke.
Why not?
No, but they're obsessed apparently with root beer ever since it came out as caffeine free.
Oh, fantastic.
Right.
I don't know why caffeine would be. I don't know enough
have
about
anything
it.
that's an addiction, but they could still have sugar, which is still...
That's an addiction.
Well, you can't ruin everything now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, addiction or not.
In the Mormonism, there is equal religious hotties there, I will say.
I'm delighted to hear it. So I hope that continues the next SJW Crusade. Boobs for butts. Let's get it trending. Guys.
Right. It's not a problem if you want hotties.
Don't have a problem.
Can we also have the hot men, though, giving us the news? I wouldn't mind David Muir. You know what, David Muir? You got to start wearing some V-necks and telling us about the world's crisis, okay? I want to see some of that.
Yeah, I think we need
to see some
more
chest hair, okay?
Yeah, come on. Ladies are watching, too.
We get to see a little... We have to see cleavage all the time from the women. Not a problem. Can we see a little chest bone, a little something?
Give us something.
Nice shoulders. I'm sure David Muir has... Well, I've seen it because he did that swimming thing. He has beautiful shoulders.
I have no idea. I've never seen this swimming thing, but I'll take your word for it.
But
He's probably a Mormon.
This is to my husband. Don't worry, babe. They're not as hot as you. I'm just saying, as a consumer watching TV.
Oh, we just want equal opportunity hotness.
But I will give an exception to 2 ladies that I feel like are amazing and have always stuck it out. Mitsumi Takahashi from CTV News in Montreal. And also Leslie Stahl from 60 Minutes. Anything these 2 ladies always report on, I'm listening.
But they're well put together. They look great. I'd like to see, first of all, I would like to see men their age look that great.
I once saw Mitsumi Takahashi when I was working at a lighting store, and she looked so glamorous. I was so starstruck.
Everyone always says that when they see her. They've seen Mitts around town. She's over there at the Atwater Market.
And her name is so beautiful. It's a name that everyone can remember. Mitsumi Takahashi.
She's a Montreal icon.
She's a Montreal icon. Mitsumi, we love you.
We do. I don't watch her anymore now because I'm out here, but she was fantastic. But yeah, I mean, Mitsumi's very well put together. But these men, it seems like there's no standards for them.
Right. I mean, we
have to stare at this.
What's an ugly broad? What's his name? He's on Fox. Scott or something. Donald Trump loves him.
The Hannity guy with the weird haircut.
Sean Hannity. It's like, get out of Sean Hannity. We need some hot Republican guys, okay? I want to see, like, again, Dan Crenshaw, the eye patch guy. Or I want to see, you know who was hot, like a younger Biden?
Oh, really? He was
Biden
hot?
and his, oh my
I gotta
gosh,
look up
so
pictures.
hot. I want to see something like that.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Primetime hotness.
Right.
Right.
Equal opportunity.
Hotness. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we'll go straight to commercial now.
Oh,
It's
it is
very
time.
important. Yes.
Who is today's commercial?
Well, today's commercial has been brought to you by flowers. Who doesn't love flowers? Just ask Puddin.
It's true. I love them
Her man won her heart with daily flower deliveries.
all the time.
Flowers add beauty and joy into any room and any heart. So many varieties to choose from organic to plastic or even edible. Flowers can be just the right touch for any occasion or just because. So treat yourself and your loved one.
And we're back. What a great commercial. You know, I do love flowers.
I do too.
My husband, the first time we really started dating, we went, you know, when you're in a new relationship, you go grocery shop, just to do your errands together. You just want to be all, around each other. He saw me pick up flowers from the grocery store. And since then, when we met, every time he gives me flowers, and he mostly gives me flowers now every Friday for Shabbat. It's our Jewish Sabbath. And that's really sweet.
Yeah, Bruno never fails to get me gorgeous bouquet, for the occasions that it counts. And sometimes just, like a Valentine's.
Oh, not
or whatever.
weekly?
No, we don't do weekly.
Oh.
No.
Well, I suppose every marriage is different.
I suppose, Miss Newlywed. We'll see how long that goes. Absolutely. But it really just brightens up the house. And some of them smell more than others. And that's a nice thing to see. It's like nature inside. We can't keep plants alive. Unfortunately, I got him a bonsai one year and the poor thing just finally died.
Well, you know what? I
feel
wanted to say
terrible.
something. You're actually supposed to water them a lot.
We do water them. Like, listen, I asked the florist. He was very particular. Not directly in the sun, but by
So
the
your
sun.
bonsai died. How much was that bonsai?
Well, it wasn't too expensive. I don't want to say here because he does listen to the show.
Oh.
But the whole thing was, it was...
No, you should brag. We talked about it.
Well, no, I just, it was a gift to him. But the point is, we took it across Canada. Like, the bonsai traveled with us through the border. We went to the States. We went through the U.S. We traveled from Montreal all the way to BC.
Probably what did it?
I don't know. It seemed to be holding up pretty okay. We had it in a little crate, with little towels around it. We were constantly spritzing it.
But you were spritzing. You have to drench it in water.
No, they wanted it spritzed. The guy showed me. It's a whole spritzing. So I don't know. We feel terrible. We feel responsible, but we can't
As
keep a
you
plant
should.
alive. No, and the flowers last maybe a week.
Well, I
try. It's difficult.
We can only do our best, people.
Absolutely. But anyway, get some flowers. You were a big fan of plastic flowers for the
I
longest
love
time.
plastic flowers. You go to Winners or, in the States, Marshalls or TJ Maxx. They're great on a bookshelf or in the bathroom. It just adds a pop, and it still doesn't do the same as regular flowers, but it still makes it nice. You feel feminine and frilly when you have flowers.
But the only issue I had was, I got some of those silk flowers, and then, you have to remember to dust them. They're like dust collectors.
Right, but then you can put on your own perfume, so when you smell them, they smell
I
like
never
your
did that.
perfume.
Yeah,
I did that.
I followed your advice. I'm like, I'll get some fake flowers from Winners. Yeah, it looks beautiful in my office.
It did look beautiful.
And I don't have to worry about it dying.
Right.
Which is very nice.
I have fake flowers in both of my bathrooms.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and then I
you
have
dust
fake
them?
flowers, yes, and I have fake flowers on my kitchen table.
The one thing people really draw the line with the fake flowers is for a wedding. It's always a huge
you gotta have
drama.
real. You gotta have real.
Do you have to, though? They
Yes.
insist on it.
Yes. It's right away, without a doubt. Because the ones that look super real are anyways expensive to begin with.
The
like
fake
silk
ones?
flowers.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that look like really real, like you wouldn't be able to tell. They're anyways expensive, but always go to a florist. Never get fake flowers for a wedding.
That's the big rule, it seems. But you're right. If it's not even a price difference, who cares? We just wanted to have flower petals down the aisle. And the place was very adamant with us. Like, no, it has to be
because the
real.
camera will pick up
yeah.
on the shine.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so.
Well, I think they want it in case they went everywhere. They don't want to be at least we're outdoors.
And it's not going to be polluting.
This is what
Got to be eco-friendly, girl.
Yeah, get them real flowers. I don't know how good it is to cut down flowers and stuff like that. But
Well, speaking of flowers and romance, did anyone watch the show Love on the Spectrum on Netflix?
Oh my God, that
So-
was so heartwarming.
It is so cute. It's about these autistic adults who are finding love and they want to be in love. And, there's this perception that people with autism / Asperger's, since they're socially inept in a lot of ways, they don't have those feelings of love, but they do.
They do. And they were saying on the show that a lot of attention and resources are given to people on the spectrum as children. But then they don't have a lot of support when it comes to these things as they grow up and become adults, how to navigate dating and things like that. So it was really great to see. They brought in specialized therapists to help them, what to do on a date, how to interact with people. And I love what you said. You were like, it's clear that every single person on the show understands consent.
That's one thing, we talk about the Me Too situation, and these adults specifically will ask, can I kiss you on the cheek? And they'll say no. The woman will say no, and they'll respect it.
Yeah.
They'll respect it. And I said, if these people who have all those challenges understands the meaning of no, surely, Louis C.K. or any other
Whoever.
disgusting person that can understand that.
Absolutely. And there's some really, really heart-wrenching situations here. Like you could see their little hearts are broken and they break the fourth wall a couple times, which is really kind of funny. You're watching this and they're interviewing one and then you see the other guy's right there.
Right. So there's this guy, Kelvin, and the crew asked him, how's your date going? And he was like, she's good, but she doesn't like video games or something like that. And then she right away, she said, no, that's not true.
And you're like, what? They're interviewing him right? And she's like right there.
And then there was one and the parents were going over with her, like, hey, like, do you want kids? Like on, typical date questions for a serious date. And she said no. And then the parents asked her why. She goes, because they're a waste of time and money.
And they're like, can't argue with that. That's true.
They're so direct. And a lot of them, like the high functioning ones, honestly, I would date. There's one guy, Andrew. I mean, now I'm married, but who makes sex on the beaches. He is so nice. He dresses very well. He's so loving. He's so attentive. I'm thinking he drives. Like it's a big thing in their thing if you're able to drive. And I'm thinking he's not, if he didn't know that he had autism, he would be, I think, a little bit better off. That's a little controversial.
That's one thing with the show that I felt like, it's like they kept setting them up. They called it people with disabilities and they'd have these disability events. And I'm like, you can open it up to people who don't have disabilities who could join because you never know. Like, look at Amy Schumer, right? And her husband.
Right.
Like they only found out later in life, but if he had only been part of this, they might never have met.
Right. And it kind of makes me sad for the really high functioning ones because just like Amy's husband, he's a renowned chef. He only found out that he has Asperger's in his late 30s.
Like she found out.
Right. And I feel like, especially with Andrew, a person like that, if he didn't know, I think he would find someone like Amy.
Yeah.
But it's in his head, rightfully so, that he has the autism.
I mean, they talk to them about it. Sometimes say it's better to just start with someone who understands where I'm coming from.
Absolutely.
So I can get that. And I'm like, that's cool too. I'm just saying maybe invite it open. People are aware that, that this is an autism event. But if you want to go anyway and meet someone and you're cool with it and you guys click, who cares, right? I don't know.
It's a good point. But, it was so funny, this show. I mean, it was really insightful. You guys need to watch it. I think it's my really good. Besides Love is Blind, this is my next top favorite dating show.
It's an amazing dating show because it's also so heartwarming and they're just so genuine. That's the thing with them.
There's no filter with them. I mean, that's part of having autism and Asperger's. What we love, they're very blunt about it.
They're very direct. So you know exactly what they're looking for, what they like and don't like, which is very, very useful. Very handy.
And I think with some of the women, they do a lot of training on the men. And again, for equality, a lot of these women need to learn their manners. There was one guy who who planned this big fancy date, their first date. He dressed up. She was having a panic attack. She didn't apologize for it. She didn't do anything.
She also not apologize for a panic attack.
No, but she should excuse herself. She shouldn't just abruptly leave. Or, a lot of the men get, they ask for a date and the women are just leading them on. And then they tell them afterwards via text. I mean, they're training the guys to be so attentive and so, to learn those. They should teach the women how to also be a little bit more respectful.
Well, they only really work with one girl on the show, right?
They worked with a few.
Well, on the show.
And there was that guy, Mark, and he was telling her how lovely she is. And she wasn't really into him.
Girls,
but she still said yes for a second date. I mean, they need to also learn not to lead people on.
It's true. The coach doesn't go talk to the women.
No.
She talks to the men. But yeah.
And rightfully so. But the women also need training that, you're leading someone on if you go on a second date and you're not really feeling them.
Yeah. Well, I think, and until they ask the direct question, they're not going to tell them how they feel. They'll just keep going and saying, that's my boyfriend. Oh, you know what? I'm not into you. But I think you're right. They should have them. Both of them should have the coach because I think there's confusion that's coming on both sides. I think we did see some of that where they misunderstand.
I found a lot of the women, to be honest, a little bit rude.
I don't know.
I'm not bashing them by any means, but I feel like they need to have that dating coach because sometimes on the date, they need to also be aware of how much effort it took for these people that make those dates.
Well, both of them are making the effort.
Right. But the men get the training. They get all of
sure.
that.
We didn't see the women getting the training. That's the one thing. It would have been helpful because also we saw it with that girl who works in the floral shop. She was heartbroken a couple times.
Right. And the men are learning how to keep up a conversation. They're learning how to stick to the script, so to say. And the women on the show didn't. They were just, they get they're the receivers in the end, and they need to, train them how to be a good receiver. Tell them, hey, thanks. Just like the guys are learning how to say, how was your day? Having those social skills. The women need to learn, like, thank you so much for the date. But,
Or they learn how to ask the questions and not just let the guy lead the whole thing. But I think that's why it was good they had the workshop in there at one point. We don't want to give too much away.
But you guys definitely need to watch it.
It's absolutely worth watching. They're lovely people. And again, one of the big key things about it is how genuine they are and how much they really just want love and that they're pretty open in the end. I think there's just a few communication glitches here and there, but you can see it being really heartwarming. Yeah, really sweet.
Anything else we care to discuss?
It's pretty good. I mean, guys enjoy the show. We love dating shows. I don't know why.
We love dating shows.
I don't know when the next good one's going to be. I know there's going to be a season 2 of Love on the Spectrum because they said that. Yeah, they said they're already filming it, I think. So that's good. I don't know if we'll get another Love is Blind, but it'll never be the same because now everyone knows the premise. And everybody knows how people reacted.
The first seasons are always the best of any reality show because it's always like it's the pilot. Where like even now, like when I watch 19 Kids and Counting about the Duggars, of course, it's so planned now. Where like their first one when they kept having babies after babies.
Yeah, they're not television experts,
right? And now they're they're not playing
to the camera. Yeah, right. Now they know.
Now they're wearing makeup. Yeah. I mean, granted, it's hillbilly makeup, but they're still wearing makeup. And,
I have not watched this show.
Oh, it's great. They have the thin eyebrows. They do the thick eyeliner.
Oh Lord,
but modest.
Modest, of course, very much so. Very demure.
No, see, I have a very demure hair. I like it, again, when I ask a hairdresser for 80% classy, 20% slutty, you should know what that means.
And you showed pictures, to be fair, even if they don't know. And they shouldn't pretend they know. Oh, yeah, sure, I get it. Okay, great.
She seemed like she got it.
Well, that's it for her. So if she's listening, sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, you did a great job, though.
Oh, okay,
I feel bad.
Sorry. Anyway, on that note, it's been great catching up with you, Puds, as usual. And if you like what you hear, don't forget to check us out weekly on iTunes or on your preferred platform. Give us a rating and subscribe to the show. Give us the stars you think we deserve.
Also, check out our website at allkindspodcast.com. You can hit us up on Twitter at allkindsweekly or on Instagram at allkindspodcast. We look forward to hearing from you, and maybe we can discuss it our next show. Thanks for listening.